These are just a few writing task to answers IELTS students wrote. In the last 6 years, I've read probably 10,000 of them. And a lot of those answers would have failed to get the score the student needed, whether it was a band 7 or even 6 or 6.5. Not all, but many of those students knew English well enough, but they struggled because they accidentally took the most difficult route to passing their IELTS writing. Let me show you. This route they've accidentally taken is like a maze with all its twists and turns, but you don't have to go through it. There is a shortcut, a simple way to write essays that get a high score. I call it the shortcut formula, and I'll show you how to use it to write a full essay step by step. I also have an extra PDF for you, but first, what are the signs that you are in the maze? The first sign that you're choosing the maze way is if your essay is too complex. It could be your vocabulary, like you're trying to use big words to impress the examiner, or grammar, with long, complex sentences that are usually not grammatically correct. It could also be complex ideas. In IELTS writing, a lot of topics touch on global problems, and it may be tempting to give deep opinions or smart ideas, but this leads to a lot of troubles. What's even worse is that writing a complex essay takes so much effort that students have no brain power left for things that matter. And this leads to the second problem. The essay doesn't answer the question. There is just one question to answer, the one written in the task, and you won't believe it how many essays fail to do so. Many essay topics ask for your opinion, so this opinion may be unclear or not justified in other parts of the essay, or using a bit of the examiner's vocabulary. Not all parts of the task are addressed. And IELTS examiners have very clear expectations as to what parts you should cover in each type of essay. Actually, everything you need to do in IELTS writing task 2 can be expressed in a single sentence. Give a clear and well-organized answer to the essay question using the right vocabulary and grammar. Just do this. That's enough to pass. I know it sounds simple, but it's not necessarily easy. So let me show you my shortcut formula, the easiest way to write an IELTS essay that will pass. It can help you get a band 6 or 7 or even an 8. It works with every type of essay and every topic. I'm going to write the formula on the left and the essay on the right. And I care a lot about the quality of materials I show you, so I've prepared an essay in advance, and this essay was checked by a former IELTS examiner and a professional proofreader, well, as we always do. And yes, we need a task. Some people think that the government should subsidize fruit and vegetables to make healthy food more affordable. Others argue that the government should tax unhealthy food instead. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. The first paragraph is an introduction. The easiest way to begin is to paraphrase the task. If we read our task, we can see that it's about the government. So why does the government want to introduce these policies? Well, to make the population healthier, right? Here's how I'm gonna begin. What would be the best government policy to encourage people to eat healthier? Yes, you can use a question in your introduction. Now, we have two views in our question. I just need to paraphrase it slightly. An easy way is to change the form of words. Instead of the verb to subsidize, we can use a noun, subsidies, and instead of to tax, say to impose taxes. Some support subsidies on healthy foods, While others argue it is better to impose taxes on unhealthy options instead. And we use the plural form foods because we're talking about different kinds of food. This task asks for our opinion. So let me give my opinion directly. In my opinion, the best way to help people improve their diets is to use both strategies together. Some students avoid giving their opinions in the introduction because they think it's too early. Maybe that's how you're taught to write essays at school. But in IELTS, our essay is just 4 paragraphs long, so keep it simple. Actually, all the former examiners I've discussed it with prefer it this way. Okay, our introduction is ready, but it's not the most important paragraph. Let's keep it short. What really matters is how you write your body paragraphs, and there is a good chance you can improve on what you're doing right now. And this will hugely help with the score. We have an essay about 2 views, so we're gonna describe each view in a separate paragraph. In the first, we'll describe the first view, the taxes. What's good about it, what's not so good, and what I think about it. But there is one thing a lot of students miss when they begin their body paragraph. The first sentence should tell us what this paragraph is about. This is called a topic sentence. Keep it simple. On the one hand, I agree that taxes on unhealthy foods could make them more expensive, and people would buy less of them as a result. I just say what I think directly. Now, we need to develop this idea by giving an explanation or example. I'm going for an example in the clearest possible linker. For example, some countries have implemented taxes on sugary drinks, and this has pushed companies to lower sugar content in their products, making them less unhealthy. So that's what's good about taxes. What's not so good? However, simply raising prices doesn't always result in people changing what they eat. And an explanation? Some may still buy junk food or slightly better versions of it without significantly improving their nutrition. There are no big fancy words here, but we don't need them. All we need is some less common words, often topic specific. And we also need some collocations or common combinations of words. And we have them. Have a look. To implement taxes, sugary drinks, sugar content, raise prices, junk food, and nutrition. The important thing is to choose clear, easy to explain ideas and develop them into logical arguments. I know it's not easy. A lot of my course students struggle with it when they join. But once they learn how to find ideas and how to structure them, their writing gets so much better. And you can learn it too. Oh, and actually over here, it's the second paragraph, but it's the first body paragraph, so we should have number 1 here. Now, writing the second body paragraph may be more difficult because we need to make sure that the 2 paragraphs complement each other. How can we do that? The second view is about subsidies, and we start with the topic sentence. Subsidizing healthy foods, on the other hand, can motivate people to make better dietary choices. I used a classic linking phrase, on the other hand, and the first part of it, on the one hand, was in the first body paragraph. This is an easy way to link the 2 paragraphs and show that I'm comparing 2 ideas. Now, I want to explain the topic sentence a bit more. If fruit and vegetables cost less, even those on tight budgets could include them in their meals. And now the result. This approach can lead to lasting improvements in how people eat. And my opinion about this view? So I see it as an important step towards improving public health. Just like in the first paragraph, we're discussing what's good. Now, what's the downside? The challenge is convincing governments to spend money on subsidies instead of relying on tax revenue. Now, let's talk about grammar for a second. A common mistake students make trying to impress the examiner is writing long sentences, which are usually not grammatically correct in the end. So keep your sentences to 2 or 3 parts or clauses. After all, complex grammar is not just long sentences. It's using gerunds like subsidizing or improving, or conditional sentences with if, and modal verbs like can and could. And of course, complex sentences. In our case, we have one with so as a linker. By this point, the examiner's thinking, that's good, but would all come together into a really strong essay and confirm the high score? There are 2 things to do in your conclusion. First of all, restate your opinion clearly, but try not to repeat the phrases from the introduction. Here is mine. In conclusion, I believe that a combination of both policies is the best way forward. So the idea is exactly the same as in the introduction, as it should be, but it's worded slightly differently. And now we need to summarize the arguments from body paragraphs. By taxing unhealthy foods, the government can deter people from purchasing them. And the second view? At the same time, using that revenue to make healthy foods more affordable will make them more appealing to consumers. And finally, let's link it back to the big idea of improving public health we started our essay with. Helping everyone improve their eating habits. Now, our opinion is clear and we've answered the essay question in full. But what score would this essay get? Have we done everything we needed to do? Let's have a look. This essay gives a clear and well-organized answer to the essay question, yes. Using the right vocabulary, yes. And grammar, yes. The answer itself is relatively simple, but there are no mistakes. I know for sure because I have a former IELTS examiner and a professional proofreader check every answer I show you. This answer would get around an 8. And if we add a few mistakes and some imperfections, it would still get a good 7. And if you're really curious about what a Band 9 essay looks like, I have a Band 9 version of this very essay as PDF and I'll link it in the description. Now, have I motivated you to learn how to write good essays even a tiny bit? There are 2 ways. My Fast Track IELTS courses where you can learn everything you need very easily in as little time as possible, linked below, or this YouTube playlist which is free but still full of valuable lessons. And thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!